Good afternoon. Welcome to Skedlive. I'm Michael Czulo, and here are today's top stories. Toronto Police held a press conference to discuss the mysterious tunnel found at York University in January. We have Ronan O'Doherty in the studio, who has been following the tunnel story. Ronan, what can you tell us about the tunnel itself?
Well, the tunnel, which has since been filled in, was found by a conservation officer very close to York University, close to their Rexall Center, which is normally where the tennis is held when it comes to town. It's about 30 feet in length, just over 30 feet in length, and is tall enough for a grown man to walk around within comfortably. The ceilings and the walls are made of reinforced plywood. There are moisture-resistant light bulbs within and a sump pump in order to drain groundwater away, which was supported by a generator within the tunnel. Clearly, this was the work of someone or some people who have some knowledge of tunnel building.
And was there anything odd or out of place?
Yeah, one thing that was a little bit strange was a rosary was found as well as a Remembrance Day poppy hanging up within the tunnel.
So, what's next?
Deputy Chief Mark Saunders is saying that he doesn't suspect any criminality in the case. He's ruled out drug labs, he's ruled out marijuana grow-ops, and as executive in charge of security for the Pan Am Games, he's saying the tunnel is not related to the Games in any way. Right now, he's hoping the public will come forward and give him some tips that will help the police determine who built it and why.
Thanks, Ronan. Dozens of people are injured after a train derailed in South California early Tuesday morning. The Metrolink commuter train slammed into a truck, causing 3 rail cars to topple over. Metrolink operates a rail network of 400 regional lines and trains that travel speeds up to 90 miles per hour. Last year, Metrolink unveiled a new safety program that uses technology to operate the speed of trains. In other news, the Superior Court has struck down the principal of Northern Secondary School in Toronto. Ron Felson was taken to court by 2 high school students over mandatory breath testing at prom. Students Brett Gorski and Simon Gillies were offended their principal had not consulted the student body first and began research into the infringement of testing on their rights. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association helped them file a charter application against Felson and the Toronto District School Board last May. CN Rail and Unifor have reached a deal to avoid a lockout of 4,800 workers. Talks between the two sides resumed Monday morning with help of federal mediation advisors. The Montreal-based railway said it planned to lock out Unifor workers unless the union agreed to settle contract differences. Meetings are expected in locations across the country over the next 3 weeks. New Zealand Prime Minister John Key has announced the country's decision to join the fight against ISIS. 143 Kiwi and Australian troops will be deployed into Iraq in the coming weeks. The troops will remain north of Baghdad for 9 months. 30 members of the Hazara ethnic community have been kidnapped in southern Afghanistan. The 30 people were kidnapped from 2 vehicles on a major road in Zabul province. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack nor demanded a ransom. 8 people are dead in the Czech Republic after a gunman opened fire in the eastern town of Uherský Brod. The gunman burst into a restaurant around lunchtime on Tuesday and began shooting. The incident is not believed to be terrorism related. Czech Prime Minister Bohuslav Sobotka said he was shocked by the attack and offered his condolences to relatives of the victims. The gunman has been described as a local man, aged 60. The largest auto show in Canada is back with some of the most exciting cars of the year. For more on the story, here's Della Irawante.
The Canadian International Auto Show is Canada's largest auto show and most prominent consumer event in Canada. This event has been held in Metro Toronto Convention Centre. The 2015 Auto Show became a major tourist attraction, bringing in an average of 300,000 visitors throughout its show. The annual auto show exhibits over 1,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs, as well as concept cars, exotic cars, classics, motorcycles, and alternative energy vehicle. I talked to visitors on what they think about the event.
I think the car show is pretty cool. They have a lot of new cars here. They have a lot of models here. All the cars look amazing, especially the Jaguars that I'm right beside here. I'm hoping to look at the new Teslas that are here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to be here. All the cars seem amazing.
The Canadian International Auto Show, art, and the automobile exhibit filled with rare classics. From the 1867 steam buggy to Sheldon Rear's 1929 Auburn. The exhibit showed the rarest, most expensive, and beautiful cars on the floor. Visitor Ramis Kaja said he loves the classic types of vehicle and talked about the exhibit.
I think the show is pretty cool. I see a lot of cars this year, and there's a lot of enthusiasts talking about the cars. So it's a pretty good understanding and knowledge about cars.
Yeah, but it's from 1959.
From Humble Clay, a vehicle develops. Humber design students offer the visitor a look at how cars begin to life as a drawing than a clay model. As the only college in Canada to offer a vehicle design component, students from Humber College Industrial Design Program talk on what he thinks about the event.
I think it's a great opportunity for students to kind of network in the industry and show off their work. All the work here is student work from the program, including the drawings and the models and stuff like that.
With 45 vehicles make their Canadian premiere, the show houses $30 million in cars alone, along with $60 million in exhibits and priceless classics. The auto show can feel like an exciting glimpse into the future, with flashy new design discovered at every corner. Reporting from Metro Toronto Convention Center, I'm Arshadella for Skedline.
Thanks, Stella. Now we turn to Sabrina Biot with our sports update.
Here's your sports news for today. Yuri Sakach is no longer playing for the Montreal Canadiens. Sakach was traded to the Anaheim Ducks for Devontae Smith-Pelly. Smith-Pelly has 1 year on his entry-level deal after the season and will be a restricted free agent afterwards. The Raptors lost to the New Orleans Pelicans last night. The Raptors led for much of the game, but the Pelicans pulled out a 102-97 game. The Raptors are back in action tonight in Dallas against the Mavericks. European clubs want compensation from FIFA if the World Cup 2022 games in Qatar are held in November and December instead of the summer. The European leagues said that the move would be a damage to domestic soccer because they are normally played in their league schedule for the winter months. The UEFA Championship League round of 16 resumes this afternoon. Manchester City is hosting four-time champion Barcelona tonight, while Juventus will be facing Borussia Dortmund in Italy. It will be the first meeting between the two since the 1997 Championships League final. Today, Canadian Vasek Pospisil will be facing Novak Djokovic in the TK round of the men's tennis tournament in Dubai this week. Djokovic won 6-4, 6-4. Major League Baseball teams reporting to spring training this week. Catcher Dioner Navarro of the Toronto Blue Jays is still waiting to be traded to a different team. But he says that for the time being, he'll do what the team wants. And Alex Rodriguez is returning to baseball after being suspended for blood doping. The New York Yankees player showed up to the team's training camp and said he cringed at his past mistakes. Rodriguez was banned for the 2014 season. That's sports, and I'm Sabrina Biot. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Sabrina. Now we turn to Sarah Sequeira with our entertainment news.
Thanks, Michael. Sad news out of Los Angeles. American Horror Story freak show actor Ben Wolfe has passed away. He died Monday afternoon at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The 4'4" actor was hit in the head by the side mirror of a passing vehicle. The actor played the character in Meek in the popular series. Wolfe was 34. In other sad Hollywood news, Leonard Nimoy, best known as his role as Captain Spock in the original Star Trek series, has been hospitalized for severe chest pains. TMZ confirms a 911 phone call has been made from the actor's house. Nimoy has been in and out of the hospital for the past few months due to cardiovascular problems. Canadian Idol sensation Jacob Hoggard is scheduled to host the 2015 Juno Awards. Hoggard follows in the steps of comedian Russell Peters and other famous stars. Hoggard's band Headley is also nominated for Juno Fan Choice Award and is scheduled to hit the stage. Catch a live show on March 15th in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. In local news, Toronto's Massey Hall will be getting a much-needed facelift. The $135 million renovation was originally announced in April 2013. The first phase of the renovation is to add a loading dock, backstage, and technical facilities in the rear end of the 120-year-old building. The second phase, which will begin in early 2019, will include an intense renovation of the interior and exterior of the building. All 2,753 seats in the hall will be replaced. Outdoor walkways will be built to improve the movement of the people in the building, and the current plaster on the ceiling will be restored to the original stained glass. The Government of Canada and the Province of Ontario are donated $16 million towards the renovation. TD Bank and RBC will be also contributing to the renovation, which is set to be completed in 2021. That's all for your entertainment news today. I'm Sarah Sequeira. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, for our weather update, we turn to Chelsea Scherer.
Thanks, Michael. Here's our weather forecast for today. Currently, it's -12, but feels like -23. Today's wind is up to 54 kilometers per hour, so make sure your head and hands are covered up today. You can expect the sky to be partly cloudy with some light flurries starting around 4 p.m. and the wind will also drop to about 30 kilometers per hour by 8 tonight. I went out this morning to speak with Humber Lakeshore students about how their commute to school was this morning.
Horrible! That's just a summary of it. It was hard getting to school today.
Very, very, very cold, long, frustrating, a lot of traffic. It was stressful. There were a lot of bad drivers.
The wind, the snow. I mean, I've never felt this cold since I got to Canada. Like, it's really cold today. And we had to be in school because we had a quiz, so we couldn't possibly skip classes.
For Wednesday and Thursday, the weather will continue to sit around -12 throughout the day and drop to as low as -20 at night until Friday. Saturday will warm up just a bit as we get into full 10 hours of daylight and the sun will bring us up to a high of -7. As we come to March this weekend, the weather will be getting slightly warmer on Sunday and you can expect some moderate snow giving us about 10 centimeters. That's your weather update for the next 5 days. I'm Chelsea Scherer, now back to studio.
For more on these and other stories, visit skedline.com. Until next time, I'm Michael Czulo.